everyone, and welcome back for another day of singing. We have another animal song today. This song is called Chickamey, Chickamey, Craney, Crow. And the words to this song are quite strange. We'll go through those a couple of times so that you can pick them up. For this song today, I'm going to use 2 drumsticks like this. If you don't have drumsticks, don't worry. You can use pencils, or if you've maybe got some chopsticks in the house, you could use those, or some sort of stick, something you could use instead that's similar. I'm going to show you how the song goes, and then afterwards we'll go through it a wee bit slower. Here's how it goes. Chickamey, Chickamey, Craney, Crow went to the well to wash his toe. When he got back, his chickens were gone. What time was that? What time? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Chickamey, Chickamey, Craney, Crow went to the well to wash his toe. When he got back, his chickens were gone. What time was that? What time? 3. 1, 2, 3. And maybe you noticed that I changed the number at the end of the song, and I'll explain that a little bit later on. So for this song, we're going to keep this pattern as we sing the song. We're going to tap the 6 in front of us, 1, then in the air, 2, then to the sides, 3, and then in the air, 4. Front, 2, sides, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that pattern repeats throughout the whole song. So we'll do it a little bit more slowly, just so that you can hear the words of the song as well, because they are quite strange. Here's how it goes. Ready and steady and off we go. Chickamey, Chickamey, Craney, Crow went to the well to wash his toe. When he got back, his chickens were gone. What time was that? What time? And on that final tap, I want you to shout out a number. A number between 1 and 12, because it's a time, so we're thinking of an hour that it could be. And whatever time you pick, whatever number you pick, that's the number of times that you're then going to tap high in the air. So if I do, what time was that? What time? 3. I would do 1, 2, 3 before I start the song again. Okay, so you can do any number from 1 up to 12. So let's do the song again. I'll put in a number at the end and see if you can do that many taps at the end. Ready and steady and off we go. Chickamey, Chickamey, Craney, Crow went to the well to wash his toe. When he got back, his chickens were gone. What time was that? What time? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chickamey, Chickamey, Craney, Crow went to the well to wash his toe. When he got back, his chickens were gone. What time was that? What time? 3. And maybe you noticed that time that I didn't count the numbers out loud. So I want you now, whatever number you pick, you can shout it out, but as you're tapping in the air, I don't want you to count. I want you to do the counting in your head. So let's try it a couple more times, a little bit faster. Remember, keeping that pattern the whole way through the song, listening for the number at the end, tapping that number in the air, but counting it in your head. Okay, lots of things to remember. Ready and steady and off we go. Chickamey, Chickamey, Craney, Crow went to the well to wash his toe. When he got back, his chickens were gone. What time was that? What time? 6. Chickamey, Chickamey, Craney, Crow went to the well to wash his toe. When he got back, his chickens were gone. What time was that? What time? 10. Chickamey, Chickamey, Craney, Crow went to the well to wash his toe. When he got back, his chickens were gone. What time was that? What time? 1. Well done. So what you can do when you're practicing that song at home, you can choose the number that you shout at the end. You don't have to use my number. Or maybe you could ask someone else in your house to shout out the number, and you can do that many taps in the air. Hope you have fun with that one. It's one of my favourites again, so I really enjoy doing that one. And we'll see you tomorrow for our very first live singing session. Okay, we'll see you then. Bye.